Alright, what is going on, YouTube? And we got a long one today. I got my coffee here. It is a good morning. We finally did it. We did the Visionary mode in the Imaginarium Theater on Genshin Impact. It can be done, guys. For you to do this, you need to have 22 characters at level 70. This includes the trial characters you get. So technically, you only need 16. I completed this challenge for the first time last night. Then I got up and did it again this morning because, much to my chagrin, I found out that I had not recorded the 7th and 8th, the 8th and 9th act in this. So the big step up between this and the hard mode is that instead of doing 8 floors, or 8 acts I should say, you are doing 10. Which is only 2, but it seems like a pretty big difference, especially when considering floor 12 of the Spiral Abyss is only 6 challenges. This is 10 challenges. Challenges. So what advice can I give to somebody trying to do the Visionary mode? Well, first, build 22, or I guess 18 characters really well. Any character who is not really meta, I would say build to run buffs on them. For instance, Kaveh is one of the people who I had to rush to build. So was Barbara. Even though I kind of had Barbara built before, but a very low investment one, because that's all you really need to do for Barbara. But those two, they're not meta. They're not going to be doing too much damage in this Abyss, in this Imaginarium Theater. Especially with how I have them built. I didn't prioritize them, so they don't have super DPS weapons or artifacts. They weren't high investment. So since they weren't going to be doing that much damage, I just tried to run artifact sets or weapons that would give my other characters buffs. So for instance, Kaveh has the Noblest set on. Barbara has the Widsith. So yeah, they can run some buffs, and I also try to pace myself. I don't want to use my main DPSs right away. I think the DPSs I have built on this Imaginarium Theater are Hutao, Diluc, and Raiden. And then I get, what's her name? Mualani or whatever, the new character. So that's 4. Each character gets 2 uses in the Imaginarium Theater. So that's 8. That still leaves 2 whole acts where you don't have a DPS. So you have to pace yourself and definitely try to use up your worst characters in early acts, if that makes any sense. Get them out of the way, get their uses done. Save up your heavy hitters for when you need them. Like I said in my first video this week, the 8th act has a lizard dude who gets a hydro shield that can only really be broken by, well, it can be broken with other things, but most efficiently broken with Dendro application. So I would save your Nahida or any other Dendro characters for that act, and then also maybe Bennett or a really well-built shielder, because when you get inside of his circle, it drains your energy and does a lot of damage. So you need to stay well protected, or your characters will take damage and can even get one shot pretty quickly. Next piece of advice I would say is save Kazuha at least one of his uses for the last act. Act 10 has that Baptist dude who has 3 different elemental shields. It's pretty hard to break all of them without using a powerful swirl, because it's 3 different elements. So you have to run a couple different elements on your team that shred shield pretty quickly with their skill or burst. Or you could use some Hyper Bloom. I believe that would be pretty effective in taking down the shield too, because you got your Hydro that can take down the Fire Shield or Pyro Shield. You got your Dendro that can take down the Electro Shield. And you got your Blooms that will take down the Hydro Shield. I think that's how that works. So I would say Kazuha or Bloom or Hyper Bloom team for the last chamber, or last act. I keep calling them chamber because I'm so used to the Spiral Abyss. They changed up the nomenclature for these little challenges, so it kind of throws me off a little bit. So yeah, Heavy Shielder and Dendro on Act 8, Kazuha or Bloomer Hyper Bloom on Act 10. Use your worst characters as quickly as possible while still passing. And let me think. Don't know if there's any other tips I have. Build your characters pretty well. It's pretty typical advice. Yeah. The first time trying this challenge, the Visionary, it was very difficult for me. And it took a couple hours, especially the Act 10, because I didn't pace myself very well. My last one was Hu Tao, Mona, and Kazuha, and then I had like just miscellaneous characters after that. I really needed that fourth spot. This time around I had it saved Hu Tao, Jinkyu, Kazuha, and Nahida. Having Nahida to get those blooms, and with Hu Tao it's like a virgin / burn along with vape. It's kind of like that team comp. It is a team comp that I think a lot of people designed to beat that boss when he was in the Spiral Abyss. I also think I was able to clear this whole Imaginarium Theater without using any of the buffs that you can pay for in this thing. I'm not for sure. I might have accepted a free one at some point, but I tried to save all of my points that you get for unlocking another character because I wanted to make sure I was in full control over my rotation and that like I didn't get Kave or some character that I was not very confident with their build later on when I needed somebody really strong. So I always go for the companion ones, and it feels like kind of a flex just being able to go without using any of the buffs. I think this one gave me a little bit of trouble because I was trying to use, you can see it's pretty much just Diluc and Yelan doing the damage on this particular act. So I was trying to get Barbara and Kave out of the way. And it gave me a little bit of trouble. I was having a little bit of a hard time clearing this and like getting the, what is that? 18. Defeat 18 opponents. I was having a little bit of trouble with that part, and then I had a little bit of trouble with Act 10 this time around. But other than that, it was pretty breezy. I liked it. I definitely, if anybody mains Mualani, they could definitely point out that I'm not using her correctly. I didn't make it through the whole Ziox video on her because I didn't plan on polling for her, and I don't know, her character didn't interest me too much. I don't like the whole riding animals thing. It's cool, but I'd rather have just kind of a cool dude with the cool sword, and I like the classic Genshin characters. That's my 2 cents on it, but ultimately, play whatever you enjoy. I'm just not really used to Mualani or her playstyle. But I think she has a lot of potential for some high damage. I also enjoyed Dea a lot more than I thought I would. I think her kit has a lot of potential, and I definitely am going to be going for a Dea Mono Pyro Abyss clear. Definitely, because her kit is pretty fun. I can see her being pretty good with like a Jingling, Bennett, and Kazuha. So, can perhaps expect that in the future. Building her right now. I paired Chevreuse with Raiden on both times, because I think she kind of buffs Raiden, even if there's only one Electro. I don't know. I know I've used her in a Raiden, Kujosara, Chevreuse, and Bennett team many times. And that is like probably my second best team comp for the Abyss. But this time I didn't have Kujosara, so I just kind of, I wung it, and it went pretty well. Real quick, I just want to take a brief moment to talk about some cool Call of Duty stuff going on right now. One of my great friends, E-Raider, just dropped a couple montages on his channel, so go check those out if you're into quickscoping and you also happen to like Genshin. Definitely go check those out. And we got a new kind of group Taj coming out with him, Q-Tip Games, myself, Ludicrous Leb, and one other sniper. We're making one big sniper montage, Duality 3. It's coming out soon. I'll link E-Raider's channel, Q-Tip Games channel, Ludicrous Leb's channel down below, and I will also link the first 2 dualities so you can get caught up. It's going to be a great year for sniping on COD. If you're a Genshin Impact player that used to quickscope or used to enjoy Call of Duty, but you're a little sad because the last 5 or 6 years have been kind of rough for COD, then this is your year to make the return, because Modern Warfare 3 was great, and I sense some great things in Black Ops 6's future. So yeah, definitely go check those out. Alright, back to Genshin. So I'm thinking I'm going to pull for C2 Kazuha. I'm feeling good. I might do it today even, after recording this video. I might make it a little thing, might get a couple drinks in the system, just have some fun. My pity is pretty high for, it's probably halfway to 90, I should say, for the event banners. When Ito was out, I was pulling for C6 Goro. Didn't know I wasn't going to need him because he was going to come out the same banner that Arlecchino was coming out on. Or, not the same banner. That's not what I meant. He was like a gifted character you could earn in an event. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. So I didn't need to go through all of those wishes to try to get C6 Goro. My mistake. And yeah, so I'm halfway to getting a 5-star. Whether or not I win the 50-50, I don't know. If I don't win the 50-50, I will probably pull for Xylolin or the Pyro Archon on the standard banner, or the event banner, when those two come out. But the really big one that I'm saving up for is the Engulfing Lightning, because I'm going to try to build a perfect Raiden. As perfect as a C2 Raiden can get, I should say. And that I will record, and it'll be a nice big thing. Definitely going to want to be there for that. I might even make it a drinking video hybrid. Me just like pulling, maybe it's like every Bennett I get, that's like a shot we have to take or something. Might get some of the boys involved, who knows. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to want that healer for this part, because you can see he does do a lot of damage to my characters, and Bennett and Nahida, I noticed, are pretty good at shredding that shield, just because of their high uptime on their skills, their elemental application. So I definitely suggest saving them up. Most people have a Bennett built. Nahida, I don't know if you can use a trial Nahida on this one. It would be a shame if you couldn't, because not just the visionary mode, but I think the whole mode would be pretty hard if you didn't have a Nahida built. It's kind of funny, I always think I have a lot to talk about in these Imaginarium theater videos, until it gets to like Act 6 and I'm like, dude, this is a lot longer than a Spiral Abyss commentary. I like low-key don't have that much else to say, but this is a commentary after all. We're just going to keep on rambling. We're going to keep on jabbering until this thing is over. I could link gameplay, but I think there's enough strictly gameplay Genshin videos out here. I want to bring a little more personality to the showcase community on Genshin Impact. A little more presence, a little more character. Talk to me, Genshin community. How are we doing right now? What are we building? Who are we looking for? Is Signora coming out? I really want to know. Speaking of Signora, I came up with this theory. So I saw online that you couldn't name your little creature, your little, gosh, what are those things called? Like the little dinosaurs in Natland, you get a little baby one. You can't name it Signora or any of her nicknames. So that leads, and you know, you also can't name it other characters who are currently in the game. Characters you can obtain through wishes and stuff. So, that leads me to believe they have the plan to add her down the road, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to grab that, hope and latch onto it, because I want Signora. But most of the Natland characters, they have an animal to ride with. Obviously, Signora is already like in the story. We know that she doesn't ride an animal or anything of that sort. But she's half cryo, half pyro in the Archon quest, like in the lore. So maybe they're just saving her up for the final region, the cryo region. I don't know what it's called. I don't even know what the cryo Archon is called. I barely even know what the pyro Archon's called. But I'm holding out hope that in a year, Signora will be in the works to be getting added to this game. And that's what after the, spending that I was talking about earlier in the video, after that I am saving up for Signora all the way. No, we're locking in, no more impulse pulling on any banners, nothing like that. We are saving up. We are going for C6 Signora. We're going for a perfect artifact set. We are saving up our resin. Oh dang, GQ just died. I did not know that. Don't let your GQ die. That's huge. Boom! Just took him out. Baptist down. Still gonna kind of run the credits right here, but I'll speed them up. I like speeding up these videos because they're already so incredibly long, even with me speeding it up. So without speeding up, I can only imagine how long it would be. I can't imagine any viewer wanting to sit through that much raw gameplay. Also, if you did speed this up, like within the YouTube speed up settings, I'm not going to be offended at all. I'm not offended if you don't want to hear me talk and just get down to the brass tacks. I have been there. Early on in my Spiral Abyss career, I remember watching all the videos, just skipping ahead to the part where I saw them beat the boss I couldn't beat. Now I'm beating those bosses, and so are you. But I got a little sidetracked. Signora. That's my theory on Signora. I think she'll break the game. At least that's what I'm hoping. So anywho, now we're on to the builds. For the few people who saw the first Imaginarium Theater video I made, I did change Raiden's build. She's back to normal emblem, hyper carry build. Nahida, only thing I changed was I got her talents, her skill and burst to 9. Farina didn't change anything. Yelan didn't change anything. Hu Tao, I switched to the Crimson Witch set. It was on the Mare Shosei Hunter, however you pronounce that, Fontaine artifact set. Diluc, I don't think I changed anything. I did give him Eula's weapon that I was running on her, the axe, Navia's, signature weapon, just because I wanted to get that big damage out of Diluc. The EM wasn't cutting it. I needed to run Diluc in a team where he could just do his thing. Actually, tabbed out of my characters. Hu Tao, pretty standard build. Kirara, I don't think I even ended up using her, but she's on a Gilded Dreams shielding build. Pretty much just have her designed to shield for my other characters. Let's see, Jinkyu, didn't change anything. Mona, I did give her a little more energy recharge and a little more crit damage, just so I could get a little more all-around damage out of her. But I didn't use her as much as I thought I would, because I managed to save Jinkyu later than I did my first time trying Visionary mode. Then we gotta go a little ways here after Mona. Chevreuse, I got her on the Lava Walker, and the last time I was using her, I think she had the Dragon's Bane. Now, no. What did she have? I don't know, but bottom line, she had the Favonius Lance. She has it now. Bennett lost one of his artifacts, so I gave it to Raiden. So he's got a little less crit damage now. And Toma was the one who had the Dragon's Bane, and I gave him Favonius Lance. And I think that was a good move. Jingling just maxed out on energy recharge, just trying to maximize her burst on field time. Kaveh, like I said, Kave's got Noblesse on. He's got a little bit of EM from that Claymore we gave him. And Barbara, I have her on Emblem of Severed Fate because I just wanted to spam her healing. And she's got the Widsith. I just wanted to get her out of the way as quickly as possible to make room for my other characters down the road. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys do well if you're trying out the Visionary mode, and if you're pulling for any characters on the banners, I hope you get them. I love you guys. God bless you. Peace out. I will see you next time.